In the previous class, we have briefly discussed about how the different wives of Kashyapa were giving birth to different children, and among them, some special souls were there, and there was a discussion about them. So, out of the 17 daughters of Daksha who were given in marriage to Kashyapa, so different daughters gave birth to different species, different living variety of living entities, and among them, Danu gave birth to Danavas, Aditi gave birth to 12 Adityas, and 12 Adityas in turn married various personalities, and they gave birth to so many different variety of children. Especially the fourth one, Twasta, gave birth to Vishwarupa, and that Vishwarupa was beheaded by Indra. Then the question why and how. There was a discussion all about Vishwarupa, Indra beheading him, and then Twasta becomes angry, producing a child from Yajna, that is Rudrasura. Again, Indra killing Rudrasura, but by the way, Indra understood Rudrasura was a great devotee. Then Parishit Maharaj asks, how is it this Asura is a great devotee? What was the reason? So his previous life, King Chitraketu Maharaj, the entire episode went all the way up to the previous chapter. Then from there on, the remaining children of Aditi were mentioned. So we saw the remaining children of Aditi, whom they married and who are the children and all. Everything has been indicated. And then there was a discussion about the last daughter, 17th daughter, that was Diti. Diti married, of course, Diti Kashyapa's wife, and Diti gave birth to Hiranyakashipu under unfriendly circumstances. And eventually, Hiranyaksha married someone, and Hiranyakashipu married someone. They also had their children. In due course of time, by the will of the providence, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were killed by the Supreme Lord because they were troubling Indra. So apparently, their mother Diti took that it was because of Indra, their two children were unloyally killed by Lord Vishnu, who was generally impartial, but coming under the influence of Indra, he became partial and he killed her two sons. So she wanted to kill Indra. So with that intention, she approaches her husband. So that is the discussion, and before that, there was a discussion about in addition to Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Diti also gave birth to 49 Maruts. And interestingly, while Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu were outright demons, but 49 Marus became completely surrendered Devatas. So now the question is, how come Diti by nature was giving birth to Asuras? How could Indra himself, how could he who had strong vengeance to kill Indra, but able to produce 49 sons, and the 49 sons been accepted by Indra as friendly and gave them the Devata positions? Why all these things are happening? What are the reason behind that? The entire assembly, the assembled sages wants to know. So with that intention, Parishit Maharaj makes an inquiry to Sukadev Goswami. That is text number 2021. So this is where we stopped, and today we'll continue from text number 22 onwards. So from the year onwards, the story unfolds, and we'll see what is going to happen thereafter. Thank you. We'll move on with 22 onwards. Sri Suta Uvacha.
Sri Suta Vacha
Tadvishnuratasya sabadarayaner.
Tadvishnuratasya Sabadaranarane
vacho nishamya drutamalpamartavat
वचो निसम्य धृतमल्पमर्थवात्
सभाजयन् निभृतेन चेतसा
सभाजयन् सान्निभृतेन चेतसा
जगादसत्रायन सर्वदर्शनः
जगादसत्रायण सर्वदर्शना. Sri Sutta Goswami said, O great sage Saunaka, after hearing Maharaj Parikshit speak respectfully and briefly on topics essential to hear, Sukdev Goswami, who was well aware of everything, praised his endeavor with great pleasure and replied,
Sutta Goswami is responding. O sage Saunaka, after hearing Maharaj Parikshit speak, how respectful, precise words, holding many meanings, omniscient Sukadeva Goswami praised him and with perfectly concentrated mind and replied. So this question also very interesting question. And hearing that question itself, Sukadeva Goswami respected Parikshit Maharaj a lot. Yeah. And Sukadeva Goswami himself went into trance for some time and returned and then answered. This going into trance happened, I think, two other times in the Bhagavatam. So one time, when Parikshit Maharaj asked the inquiry about why the Vraja Gopas discussed the pastime of killing Agasura after 1 year, as if it just happened today only. So that time also Sukadeva Goswami went into trance for a while. And second time when Parikshit Maharaj asked the question that how Lord Krishna reciprocated with the poor Brahmana Sudama and he received him very nicely and served him very nicely. How? So that time also Sukadeva Goswami went into trance for some time and then answers. So basically, all these pastimes in a way indicate that how wonderful are Lord's pastimes. The great wondrous pastimes only the Supreme Lord can do like this. No one else can do like this. So before answering superficially, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami himself goes into meditation and prays to the Lord. My dear Lord, though you performed these pastimes so wonderfully, please bless me or please make your presence on my tongue so that I can also present them with the same wonder. So with that intention, the answers are given. So here you see words. Tad Vishnu Ratasya Sabadarayanir. Badarayani Sukadeva Goswami Vishnu Rata is Parikshit Maharaj, who protected by Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, from the womb. Vachanyo Nishamya Drutam Alpam Artavat. So Nishamya Drutam means Parikshit Maharaj spoke these words with complete respect, but he only spoke few words, not so many. Just we saw only one verse. In one verse only he made inquiry. And Artavat, and each word of his question are full of meaning. And he also says that it's not only me want to understand this, the entire assembly want to understand it. Matlab, he is able to read the mind of entire assembly also. So in that way. And then Sabhajayan Shan Nibrutena Chetasa. Nibrutena Chetasa means Sukadeva Goswami before responding, Sabhajayan, he respected the inquiry of Parikshit Maharaj, but Nibrutena Chetasa, he went into transcendence for a while. Nibrutena Chetasa Jagada Satrayana Sarvadarshana. So he meditated upon Sarvadarshana, the supreme, Sukadeva Goswami, though he can see everything, but he meditated upon the Supreme Lord so that Lord can reveal the entire pastime once again, so that he can speak the pastime properly without making any mistakes. So that was the understanding. So it is like that. So this kind of entering into trance comes 3 times in the entire Bhagavatam. Artavat means with many meanings. Performing tamasic bhakti to the Lord. Okay. So then here from one point of view, also questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj, their answers have many meanings. So what could be the many meanings? So some of the possible meanings are given. Performing tamasic bhakti to the Lord with the goal of harming others, one becomes purified in heart, and along with developing bhakti without tamas, one gains liberation from samsara and gives up the tendency for violence to others. So this is about Diti want to produce children with an intention to kill Indra, but she served her husband. She displayed surrender towards her husband, who is represented to a Supreme Lord Vishnu. We will discuss this point, why I am calling the husband to be represented to Supreme Lord. And then, because Acharyas consider that if she, because she surrendered to her husband, she also indirectly surrendered to Supreme Lord Vishnu also. In the last time, it is said when she insisted that we should have children right now during the Sandhya time in the evening. So he said, no, you wait till night. Night we can have children. So she insisted. Then later on, his husband said that since you have disrespected the Supreme Lord Vishnu, since you have disrespected the time, on that time, since you have disrespected the Lord of time, Lord Shiva, and since you have disrespected me, you will have two children who will disrespect the Supreme Lord. So, in one sense, that time she disrespected her husband. Husband did something, she did not accept it, she did not follow it. So, indirectly, it is indicated that she disrespected Lord Vishnu. And now she respected Lord Vishnu because, not directly, but she respected her husband. So, as a result of that, she also respected Lord Vishnu. So, in both the places, though there was no direct mention about Lord Vishnu, just because she was respecting her husband, Acharya said that she disrespected her husband, she disrespected the Supreme Lord Vishnu there, and she respected the Lord Vishnu now. So, why? We will discuss little later on when that discussion comes. We will do that today. But in any case, as a result of that, she is performing tamasic bhakti. And what tamasic bhakti will do, though we approach Lord Vishnu with an intention to harm others, but because one is performing bhakti, that bhakti will purify our bad intentions. And the result will become favorable. So that is what happened in the case of Diti. So performing tamasic bhakti to the Lord with the goal of harming others, one becomes purified in heart. Because she was performing bhakti, she is purified of her heart. Along with the developing bhakti without tamas, and she developed complete surrender towards Lord Vishnu. At the end, by the end of the vrata, she completely forgot her enmity towards Indra. That's all. And eventually one gains liberation from samsara and gives up the tendency for violence to others. This is the proof of this. That is the first meaning of the story. The same thing happened to Dhruva also. Dhruva, as a devotee in the mode of passion, approached the Supreme Lord with an intention to get the fulfillment of his desire. But by the end of the bhakti, he was completely purified. He completely developed a disinterest in that goal. He requested the Lord, my dear Lord, I don't want all those things. Please forgive me. Swamin Kritartostvi Varma Varamna Yache. Now I am completely satisfied by having your darshan. I don't want any vara. So, in that way. Tana Bilashi Sapto Sitoyam. Swam Praptuvam Deva Munindra Guyam. Kachan Vichinvan Abhiravi Ratnam. Swamin Kritartosmi Varamna Yache. So that was the transformation in Dhruva. Now this is the transformation in Diti. She was not only purified of her desire to harm others, she was completely purified in her heart, and she developed pure bhakti, and she also became qualified candidate for attaining liberation, and gave up whatever littleness towards Indra she had. She gave up everything. That was the transformation. This is the potency of bhakti. So bhakti can do all these things at one go. Even though one worships Lord Vishnu with a bad intention also, one attains perfection and one becomes completely pure and one becomes on par with the pure devotee. That happened with Dhruva Maharaj. who is a devotee in the mode of passion at that time. And now it is happening with Diti, who is a devotee in the mode of goodness, as a good ignorance. Same thing also happened with Daksha. In one sense, did not happen completely because he already performed Vaishnava offense previously. So that traces are there, but otherwise, he was willing to serve the Lord. So he was the Lord himself arranged his marriage and he was engaged in Lord service, whatever way he want. So that also happened. But because of some Vaishnava Aparada traces, he could not develop the required tolerance. He had tolerance, but not the required tolerance. So, so like that. So this is the glory of bhakti. Then next, second meaning. Those with crooked hearts who sees faults in others, though they are intelligent, they are intelligent, do not see those same faults in themselves. So Diti is seeing fault in Indra, but Diti is not able to see fault in herself. So this is as saying that out of his personal interest, Indra made Vishnu to kill my sons. So now she also doing same thing. Out of her personal interest, she wanted to kill Indra. So like that. Diti is also an example of this. With her words stating in verse 24. 24 we will come to know this. This is the second meaning. A learned person can be cheated by the attraction of a woman. The third meaning. Because Diti was and Kashyapa thought that Diti was completely changed. So Kashyapa is an example of this. That is the third meaning. Alpam means with measured syllables. Samne Brutena means completely concentrated mind. Sarvatma is Shatravana means Shaunaka. But in any case, so Arthavat is indicated by three meanings. So by the end of this chapter, we should be able to understand these three meanings. Yeah. Now the
Hare
story
Krishna.
will. Mataji.
Prabhuji, you mentioned the three incidences. One is at the Aghasura time, one is Sudama incident when Shukadeva Goswami went into trance, and which is the third?
One is Brahma Lila. Other one is Sudama pastime. This is the third one.
Okay, this time also he went into trance.
Okay. Yeah, that's what, na. Nibrutena Chetisa Jagada. He went into trance for a while before answering because this pastime talks about the wonderful nature of bhakti, wonderful power of bhakti, what it can do. Diti was supposed to get a son who will kill Indra, but those children, Diti became transformed. Diti forgot her desire, and Diti became friendly with Indra, and Diti was qualified to become liberated, and the children became devatas, and everything happened.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Hataputradite Shakra
Hataputraditi Shakra
Parshnigrahena Vishnuna
Parshnigrahena Vishnuna
Manyuna Shokadipena
Manyuna Shokadiptena
Jvalanti Paryachintayat.
Jvalanti Paryachintayat. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Diti, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows.
Yeah. Diti, whose two sons Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu had been killed by Lord Vishnu with Indra's help, burning with anger intensified by lamentation, contemplated as follows. Shakra Parshni Grahena means with Indra helping from the back or supporting indirectly. Chakra means Shatakratu, the one who performed 100 yajnas will become Indra. And that Indra had influenced Lord Vishnu to kill her two sons. So, see, interestingly, she did not find fault with Vishnu. Because Vishnu is the actual killer of her two sons. But she found fault with Indra. Because her original problem was Indra only. Because Indra's mother and herself were co-sisters and co-wives. So her problem originally was she is also wife of Kashyapa. I am also wife of Kashyapa. How come her son can become the lord of three worlds, and I did not even have a son? So with that intention, previously she wanted to have a son who will be as powerful as the son of Aditi and will be on the same position, who should be stationed in the same position, something like that. So eventually she had two children, and when they dethroned Indra, and to keep Indra again back in the same throne, they were killed. So that made her intolerable. So that's why she was against Indra, because if Indra all these things happened, if Indra was not there, all these things would not happen. So like that, and not because of Indra also, because Indra became the son of her sister, her stepwife. That is the problem. So that's why this entire thing happened. Sometimes for small things, we go to in a revenge state of consciousness to a great extent. Apparently, what happened could be small, but where one considers that to be the biggest thing, and one goes to the maximum possible extent of revengeful mentality for that kind of condition. That we can see here in the case of our Diti. So, but in spite of that, because she practiced bhakti, she was completely purified. That is the glory of. She was overreacting in one sense, and by practicing bhakti, she was completely purified. So like that. So now she was contemplating. What she was contemplating? Kada nu bratro antaram
Kadanubratarantaram
indriyarama mulbanam
Indriyarama Mulvanam
aklinna hridayam papam
Aklinna Hridayam Papam
ghatayitva shaye sukam.
Gatayitva Saye Sukam. Lord Indra, who is very much fond of sense gratification, has killed the two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu by means of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind?
Diti thought, I will rest in peace, sukam shaye, only after having killed the sinful, cruel, hard-hearted Indra, a sense enjoyer, and a killer of two brothers. See how much is so much contemplation. So she is telling about Indra is he is a sinful, cruel, hard-hearted, a sense enjoyer, and killer of two brothers. So he does not deserve to live. Just because he had her sister. Just because he happened to become the son of uh, her husband's second wife, Dusra wife. That is the problem. If Indra would have been somebody else out of their family, she might not have reacted so much. Because Indra is the same family member, she was reacting so much. This is the problem. In this material world, this is the problem. If somebody else can become anything, no problem. But somebody within our vicinity should not become. So that is the problem. Then She further continues. Krimivid bhashma samnyasi
Trimivid bhasma samnyasi
yasya sa vihitasya cha
yasyesyaabhihitasya cha
bhutadruk tatkrute swartam
bhutadruk tatkrute swartham
kim veda nirayo yataha.
kim veda jayo yataha. When dead, the bodies of all the rulers, known as kings and great leaders, will be transformed into worms, stool, and or ashes. If one enviously kills others for the protection of such body, does he actually know the true interests of life? Certainly he does not, for if one is envious of other entities, he surely goes to hell.
For maintaining his body, which has been defined as worms. So she says that the material body is defined as worms, stool, krimi, weed, ashes, basma. The king in committing violence does not know his own benefit, since he will go to hell as a result. She is telling that Indra, for the sake of keeping his own body intact, so that he can do a lot of sense gratification afterwards, he killed his two brothers without understanding that the result of this killing these two brothers is going to hell. Still, he was doing so much for this body, which ultimately is known as Krimi Ved Basma. Because after death, what happens to the body is one of these three. After death, the body of he who is called a king, currently Indra is called a king, but after death, what happens to him? If remaining for 2 or 3 days becomes worms, if the body is thrown unnoticed, unattended, so the insects will be born in the same body and they will eat up the entire flesh. So the whole body become transforms into worms because the worms eat it and they produce more children. Again, the more children will eat the same flesh and they produce more children like that. In due course of time, the entire body is filled with so many worms. This we used to see in childhood when some cow dies. They will throw sometimes cow or buffalo. They will throw behind the village, and in due course of time, 1 2 days first, the eagles will come and eat, and the leftover will all transform into the insects. So that is what happens. And if eaten by dogs and eagles and all, it becomes stool because they are eating the flesh. The next day morning, they will excrete the stool. So it becomes stool. If it is burned by suns, it becomes ashes. So that has been the definition of the body of a king. What to speak of king? Anyone, everyone's body is like that. Since this has been seen from the past examples also. So basically, she is telling the philosophy. So this body is ultimately is going to become like this, and to maintain that body, Indra went into the extent of killing his own brothers. So what kind of selfishness he has? What kind of sensitivity mentality Indra had? Like that she say. Does one who commits violence to other beings for maintaining his body know his own benefit? Does he not? Become? Does he not? Because he goes to hell. First of all, he will go to hell. The Atma and subtle body will go to hell. The grass body becomes like this. This implies that Indra is without intelligence. She also is without intelligence because she also want to kill Indra. So she is analyzing Indra, saying that Indra, for his own sense gratification, he made Lord Vishnu to kill my two sons. As a result of that, he will certainly go to hell. His body becomes the food for insects or dogs. Or if it is burned by someone, it will become ashes. For this body, which is going anyway going to become this, he is doing all this. What kind of selfish person is he? But she's telling that Indra is less unintelligent. He does not even think about all these things. And then she want to kill Indra for the same thing. So then Acharya said that. So if Indra is less intelligent or no intelligent, Diti also no intelligent. So like one can see that 1 second. One can see that both she and Indra commit violence. Both are hard-hearted and both do not know their own benefit. In this way, a person with real intelligence can determine the lack of discernment of unintelligent people. The understanding is that if when one does not understand that Nate Vidu Swartha Gatam hi Vishnu, instead one is disturbed by the dualities in this world. So one is said to be no intelligent. So from that point of view, though Diti is saying Indra is no intelligent, Indra is so selfish. But actually, we don't know whether Indra is less intelligent or no intelligent or selfish. But obviously, because she's thinking like that, she's analyzing on the bodily platform. Definitely, she is like that. Acharyas are telling. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, like from where Diti has picked up this, that Indra is the cause of killing her sons, because nowhere it was mentioned in the Hiranyakashipu's incidents also it doesn't come, as well as in Hiranyaksha's incidents also it doesn't come that Indra went and prayed to Vishnu or Indra requested Vishnu to kill both of them. So I means I'm not getting connection only that why Diti is feeling that. And
Actually,
in fact,
the prayer is there, but more than the prayer. But what was the reason that Vishnu killed Hiranyaksha and Kashyapa? Why would we kill them?
because they means at least Hiranyakashipu had conquered the Swarga kingdom of Swarga also like that. Now with his Brukuti also the demigods used to feel afraid like that, and they used to do whatever he says. So in a way he had captured them.
Okay, so what? Then why she is only addressing Indra? Why not the whole Devata
Because
community?
he is the king of Devata community. No?
So what?
So means each one of them we don't say now whatever is there in problem in the kingdom, the king only will be held responsible like that.
Yeah, though we may say the king, but here, who is Indra? Indra is also her husband's son, and Indra is the son of her co-wife. That is the problem. Actually, Indra is not problem. Her devatas are not problem. The problem is her co-wife's son is situated in the great position. Of course, Bhagavatam 7th canto says
Prabhuji, your voice is very swaying.
all the devatas who are arrested by Hiranyakashipu, they were praying to Lord Vishnu. They prayed actually to Lord Vishnu. It is not that they did not pray, they actually prayed to Lord Vishnu. Prayers also there in the Bhagavatam. May not be elaborately, but their prayers are there. Okay, Mataji? So we'll go to the next verse. आशाशानस्य तस्वेदम्
आशासनस्य तस्येदम्
ध्रुवम् उन्नतचेतसः
ध्रुवम् उन्नतचेतसा
मद शो मद शोषक इन्द्रस्य
मदाशोषक इन्द्रस्य
भूयाद्येन सुतो हि मे
भूयाद्येनो येन सुतो हि मे. Diti thought, Indra considers his body eternal and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this.
So she is thinking that because of Indra's evil actions, may have a son who can destroy the pride of uncontrolled Indra, who thinks he is eternal. So whether Indra thinks eternal or not, but she is thinking like that. She is thinking that Indra thinks he is eternal, he can do anything he want, I will show. He is not eternal, first of all, and he cannot boast himself as the king of the heaven. So she want to reduce his pride. May I have a son to destroy Indra's pride because of his evil actions. This is my prayer. Indra thinks his body is eternal and has an uncurbed mind. So, so these are the thoughts of Diti. So with these thoughts, she approached her husband one day. इति भावेन सा भर्तुर्
इति भावेन सा भर्तुर्
आचचारा सकृत्प्रियम्
आचचारा सकृत्प्रियम्
शुश्रूषयानुरागेण
शुश्रूषयानुरागेण
प्रश्रयेण दमेन च
प्रश्रयेण दमेन च
भक्त्या परमया राजन्
भक्त्या परमया राजन्
मनोज्ञैर्वल्गुभाषितै
मनोज्ञैर्वल्गुभाषितै
मनोजग्राद भावज्ञा
मनोजग्राह भावज्ञा
सस्मितापाङ्गवीक्षणै
सस्मितापाङ्गवीक्षणै. Thinking in this way, with a desire for a son to kill Indra, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa by her pleasing behavior. O king, Diti always carried out Kashyapa's orders very faithfully, as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her husband, and with smiles and glances at him. Diti attracted his mind and brought it under her control.
Thinking in this way, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyapa. So, this thought was in her mind. If she had to fulfill this desire, she need to gain the favor of her husband. In order to gain the favor of her husband, she began to serve her husband very amicably, very nicely, in complete surrender when her husband is in her ashram. How did she serve? Knowing his mind, she gained control of his mind with her great devotion, with complete self control, humility, with affectionate service, sweet, charming words and glances. So these words are mentioned in relation to Devahuti. After the marriage, Devahuti also, after the marriage, Swayambhu, Manu and Chaturupa left their home. Then Devahuti remained with Kardama in the ashram. And she served her husband Vishrambena, Guror Seva, Damena, Shemena Cha, Gauravena, Saurardena. So like that, all the words are used. The same words are used here now. Sushrushaya, Anuragena, Prashrayena, Damena Cha, Bhaktya, Paramaya, and Valgu Bhashitai. Speaking less or speaking very attractively. And Sushrushya, completely surrendered. Anuragena with complete attachment. Prashrayena with with what do you call that? With great devotion. Damena with self control. She kept her control, her mind and sense and control. Bhaktya Paramaya with affectionate service. And Manognyai, sweet, and Valgu Bhashitai, sweet, charming words and glances. So it's like that. Susmita Apanga Vikshanai. Susmita means with smile. Apanga Vikshanai means with nice glances. So that means from her point of view, she is serving her husband so nicely because she need to get some favor from husband. The husband saw all these things, husband thought. So she is genuinely serving him. But in her mind, there is a bad intention that was not noticed by her husband. So in that way. When a woman satisfies her husband, her desires are fulfilled. Therefore, I will satisfy my husband by service. This was her thought. So with that thought, she began to serve her husband for many days, so that husband can help her fulfill in her desires. So like that. So then what happened to Kashyapa? Evam Shritya Jadibhuto
एवं श्रुत्या जडीबूटो
Vidwan Api Manojnaya
विद्वानपि मनोज्ञया
Hadamiti Aha Vishwaso Sarvivasho
बाधम् इति आह विपाशो
Natat Chitram Hiyoshiti.
न तच्चित्रं हि योषिति. Although Kashyapa Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by a husband is not at all astonishing.
Yeah. Though learned, Kashyapa was bewildered by his attractive wife. He helplessly agreed to satisfy her. Padam iti aha vivasho. Vivasho means because he was so much impressed by her service mentality, and one day upon on himself, just like Kardama Muni also told one day, Diti did not say anything. By looking at her surrender, by looking at her selfless nature, by looking at her emaciated bodily situation and all, one day he said, yeah, you are so selflessly served. I can offer you any benediction. Even I can offer you the vision and entry of the spiritual worlds. Please ask. Please express your desire. What do you want? I am eager to serve you in reciprocation for what service you rendered to me for these years, months, and whatever time passed. So that time Devoti had only one desire. She wanted to have children. She reminded her husband that you promised at the time of marriage that you would have children through me. Of course, as a chaste wife, she want to have children. There is nothing wrong in that. Here also same thing. Because of her long service, her husband thought that okay, now uh, she is like very gentle, very much self-controlled, and very much amicable, etc. So he thought, so let me fulfill her desire, if at all she has something. He never said that, okay, you already have a desire, that's why you're serving me, I'm ready to fulfill. Not like that. Even though without anticipating anything like that from her, and he himself told, okay, I'm very satisfied with your humble service. Please tell me what I can do for you in return. Because after accepting service, one should return something. Otherwise, one remains indebted. So that is the nature of this world. So one cannot simply accept the service and keep quiet. One should actually reciprocate accordingly. Without reciprocation, one will be indebted for accepting the service of others. So it is like that. So for a husband to give word to one's wife, it is not a astonishing. These are not something new. It is a traditional thing that is happening. The same thing. It is not a big thing in the what happened to our Kashyapa. So like that, Acharyas are saying. He said, yes, I will satisfy your desires if at all you have anything. And this is not at all astonishing. Obviously, when one sees that somebody is serving one very nicely, obviously one want to reciprocate. Same thing Kashyapa is also doing. But Kashyapa did not analyze. Is my wife having some bad intention as a result of that she is faking the service attitude? That kind of analysis did not do. Because as a person who is a great sage, so because last time only she approached with a bad intention and she saw the result. So she thought he thought that she learnt a lesson from that. So with that intention, he said, "You have anything? I can. Is there anything for me? Is there anything that I can do for you?" So simple one thing. He has to say that because that is the nature of this. Matlab, we cannot accept anything just like that. We need to respond also. So he did it. That's why it is called Vivasho. He has no other way. He can't say that, okay, I am your husband, you are my wife, it is your duty to serve me, and it is my duty to take service. So not like that. So you are serving me, and is there anything that I can do for you in return? So like that. Then it further continues. Vilokaikante bhutani
विलोक्यैकान्तभूतानि
bhutani adau prajapatihi
भूतानि आदौ प्रजापतिः
श्रियं चक्रे स्वदेहार्धं
श्रियं चक्रे स्वदेहार्धम्
यया पुंसां मतिर्हृता.
यया पुंसां मतिहृता. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, the father of the living entities of the universe, saw that all the living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created woman from the better half of man's body. For woman's behavior carries away a man's mind.
So Kashyapa is responding now. He's saying that, okay, not Kashyapa is responding, but yeah, I think Kashyapa is responding. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, seeing that all the living entities were single, created woman for the better half of man's body, by whom the men's minds are captivated. So in the beginning, Brahma himself was creating by his own mystic potency various living entities, and he is requesting everyone to help him in populating the entire universe. First, he requested the four Kumaras. They said no. Then he requested Rudras, 11 Rudras. They produced children, but they are destroying everyone who were there at the time. Indra told him, "Stop! Don't do like that kind of creation." Then Brahma produced nine Manasaputras, nine great sages. He requested them to beget children. They were performing tapasya. They are not begetting children. They are very slow. And like that, the creation was going very slow. So, in order to fast forward the creation, Brahma created Swayambhu, Manu, and Shatarupa, a male and female, the first female in one sense. As a result of that, there was attraction between the male and female, and that attraction led to begetting children. So that's why it is said the woman has been created in the beginning to fast forward the creation. How? Because the women captivate the mind of the men. As a result of that, they become attracted to each other. As a result of that, children will be born. As a result of that, the Srishti will continue. So this was the intention with which Brahma created the woman in the beginning of the creation. Like that, Kashyapa is telling to his wife, Ekanta Bhutane means the men were without association. By women, men's minds became captivated. They entered the continuous river of samsara. So like that. Afterwards, the creation is going on its own. Now Brahma no need to do anything. The living entities on their own uh, with intention or without intention, the Srishti will continue on. So he made a automatic system. So like that. So then what further he says? Evam शुश्रूषितस्ताता
एवं शुश्रूषितस्ताता
भगवान् कश्यपस्त्रिया
भगवान् कश्यप स्त्रिया
परस्या परमप्रीतो
रहस्या परम प्रीतो
स्थितिम् आहाभिनन्द्य च.
दितिम आहाभिनन्द्य च. O my dear one, the most powerful sage Kashyapa, being extremely pleased by the mild behavior of his wife Diti, smiled and spoke to her as follows.
So in the previous verse, the previous to previous verse, it is said that it is not astonishing that by this service, Kashyapa was completely captivated, and he responded saying that, is there anything that I can do for you, my dear wife? Something like that. Because that is quite natural to say that Sukadeva Goswami is speaking this verse, not Kashyapa, but Sukadeva Goswami himself is speaking this verse, that it was Lord Brahma created the woman at the beginning of the creation to captivate the hearts of the men so that the creation will continue.
So Kashyapa becoming attracted to his wife and become captivated by her service attitude is not some astonishing, is not something new. So that is quite natural because that was the intention with which Brahma did this creation of men and female, male or female. So it is natural. So now the powerful Kashyapa, being extremely pleased after being served by his wife, smiled and welcoming her spoke as follows. Now Kashyapa will speak the wife for 5 verses. Afterwards, the Diti will reveal what is there in her heart. But Kashyapa's response is out of his genuine appreciation for the selfless service that a wife renders her husband. So, from that point of view, he says. But as of now, Kashyapa did not analyze what was the intention of Diti and all. He just saw her service attitude. So many days, so many weeks, she was serving him very nicely with very polite words and polite demeanor, attitude, and everything nicely. So she thought, so as a gentle wife, as a genuine wife, she is serving me. And this is the greatness of service. So, with that, keeping that as a background, he will speak some words glorifying the service attitude of a wife. So, these are some interesting verses. Yes. Any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Prabhuji, I had one doubt that Diti means initially when she approached and when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born, like she was very much aggrieved and intense, sudden acute urge of lust was there. So and now she is contrast completely now, and she's behaving so nicely and she's trying to please her husband by service attitude like that.
Hmm.
So means whether the because the and many demons means from Diti whomsoever come they are demons like that we say now. So Diti means she had a nature like that. That is why she was made instrument so that all the demons will be born from her, or how it should be understood. Because same father's children daughters they are, and same husband's wives they are. So if someone has got all the demigods as a son, and someone has got all the demons as a son, so means whether this soul's in a whole karma was like that or how it should be understood.
No, not. See, even the first point what you mentioned, it is not that all demons were the sons of Diti. No, Diti only gave birth to two people, Hiranyakshar and Kashyapa. She did not give birth to all the demons. All the demons were born to somebody else. Because her two sons became the leaders of the Asuras. The Asuras became known as Daityas. The leaders from the leader's name only the followers' name will come, na. But whatever it is, though externally we may say out of surge of intense lust, she approached her husband, but it was not just lust. It was competitive mentality. Because her co-wives also gave birth to children and the children were faring well, or they are well positioned, well respected, well situated. As a natural consequence of a woman's mentality or a human any living entity's mentality in that sense, so I should also have why I am left bereft of this great fortune of having sons and having the children who are also situated in the great position and glorified by one and all in the universe. So that is a natural behavior of this world, any living entity. All of us also have the same behavior, not only wife, not only the women, even men also have the same behavior. That was the thing.
Okay. Like it was means it should not be understood that Diti's karmas were like that, or means because we said
Yeah,
now that she's not a pure devotee or like that.
see, for that matter, pure devotee one becomes pure devotee. One by birth, pure devotees are only very few in the material world. So all of us need to practice sadhana and then become pure. So when one is in conditioned state, we have our own respective conditionings. So in that, see one thing, it is not only begetting children, but before begetting children, also everyone goes through some kind of vrata. If you have read Mahabharat properly, Kunti Maharani and Pandu Maharaj, they practiced 1 month full vrata before inviting every devata so that they could have a proper child with proper mindset for a specific purpose for the well-being of the entire universe. The request they made also is very specific. They did not make the request superficially, and they contemplated upon the request for 1 whole month, and they were worshipping that devata for 1 whole month. Proper severe austerities. Their intention is very clear. They don't want to have children just for their own self-aggrandizement or glorification. They wanted to have a son who can be dharma personified, who can protect dharma, who can distribute dharma to one and all. And then the next son who can support that person who will distribute dharma. Because without support alone, a person cannot protect and distribute dharma. They need some strong person support. Second desire, we want to have a strong person, intelligent person who is dharma, who is also endowed with dharma and will assist the dharma person for the eldest son. The third, not only a skill is enough, not only the strength is enough, one should be skillful also, and one should be a great devoted also. Of course, previous people also devoted, but third time especially they made. This time we want to have a special devotee also. It is not just having dharma is not enough. That dharma should be assisted with full devotional sentiments. Then Arjuna was born. And also Pandu Maharaj also had, in addition to dharma, in addition to strength, in addition to skill, in addition to bhakti, he also has cherished few more desires. So someone who can envision the future, someone who can also be considered to be the most beautiful among all men, something like that. So see, Pandu Maharaj and Kunti Maharani and Madri also, they did not become just like their children. They went through contemplation, what kind of children they want, and they also worshipped the Devata accordingly, and they also went through proper Vata, Tapasya. This is called Garbhadana Samskara. The last time, Diti should not go through any Garbhadana Samskara. And their intention of want to have children itself is a competitive mentality. Of course, what her previous karmas and all, we don't know. We cannot judge about it. But what is happening currently, we can understand from Bhagavatam, and we can kind of little bit analyze and understand what is the state of consciousness at the time of begetting children. That will have a great impact. So,
Yeah.
so that was the situation.
Prabhuji, you mentioned one thing that she was with, if someone prays, like the Kunti Maharani and Pandu had prayed, like that means if someone prays with particular intention, what kind of children they want, and they pray to the Lord, means that effect will be seen in the child, even
Yes,
now. Yeah.
it is
Thank you so
obviously seen because when we do some prayer, when we follow some vrata, when we perform some tapasya, definitely one will get result. That is the way the universe has been created. So,
Yeah. That is why Prabhupada used to say na, that the couple should chant 64 rounds before having the,
yeah.
yes, thank you, Prabhupada.
Sri Kashyapa. Other devotees, anybody has any questions? Okay. Sri Kashyapa Uvacha
Sri Kashyapa Uvacha
Varam Varaya Vamuru
Varam Varaya Vamuru
Pritasteham Anindite
Pritasteham Anyandite
Priya Bhartari Suprite
Priya Bhartari Suprite
Kakama Iha Chagama.
Kakama Ihajagama. Kashyap Muni said, O beautiful woman, O irreproachable lady, since I am very much pleased by your behavior, you may ask me for any benediction you want. If a husband is pleased, what desires are difficult for his wife to obtain? either in this world or in the next.
Kashyapa Muni is saying that, "O beautiful woman, O irreproachable lady, I am pleased by your behavior." This is important. I am pleased by your behavior. Because for many days, for many weeks, and for many months she was serving. That's why she was called Varaya Vamoru, completely surrendered. Please ask me for any benediction, Varam. So since I am very much pleased with your amicable service, so please ask for anything. The reason is, if a husband is pleased, what desires cannot be fulfilled, either in this world or in the next world. So this is important. Do you remember? Striya Bhartari Suprite Ka Kama Iha Cha Agama. So if a husband is fulfilled, a husband is pleased by your wife's service, what cannot be fulfilled? She can fulfill any desire that she has in this world or in other world. So indirectly by using the word Agama, Kashyapa is indicating that even if you want to go to spiritual world today, I can offer you that blessing. That means, of course, this may not be case with every husband, but husbands like Kardama, husbands like Kashyapa can award that benediction because they are great, being great devotees. They can offer that benediction, even if they themselves. We may think that okay, how can now what capacity they have? They can pray to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu can offer that benediction to them. So even if they cannot offer, but they can make the necessary arrangements by which their wives can attain necessary benediction. That they can do. So like that. Hare Krishna, just wait 1 minute. Somebody is ringing the bell. So here Kashyapa, so I mean keeping reference of himself or husbands like her, he is telling that if the husband is pleased with the service of wife, he can offer any desire that wife has in this world, he can fulfill any desire that wife has in this world, and they can also make their wives attain Supreme Lord. So what is the context in which he is saying this? We will also discuss in one of the future verses in this section only before 36 only. But kindly remember that. But in any case, we have two examples in the Bhagavatam saying the same thing. One is Kashyapa here, other one Kardama previously. So it's like that. So on what authority and what basis Kashyapa is saying that I can fulfill any of your desire in this world and also I can make you come back to Godhead. Why he is saying that? One may have the question, but let us see. पतिरेव हि नारीणाम्
पतिरेव हि नारीणां
दैवतं परमं स्मृतम्
दैवतं परमं स्मृतं
मानसा सर्वभूतानां
मानसा सर्वभूतानां
वासुदेवः श्रियापतिः
वासुदेवा श्रियापतिः
स एवा देवतालिङ्गैर्
स एव देवतालिङ्गैर्
Nama Rupa Vikalpitaye.
Nama Rupa Vikalpitai.
Yajyate Bhagavan Pumbihi.
Ijyate Bhagavan Pumbihi.
Sribhischa Patirupadrak.
Stribhischa Patirupadrit. A husband is the supreme demigod for a woman. The supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the husband of the goddess of fortune, is situated in everyone's heart and is worshipped through the various names and forms of the demigods by fruity workers. Similarly, a husband represents the Lord as the object of worship for a woman.
See, on what basis Kashyapa is saying that Striya Bhartare Suprite Ka Kama Ihe Chagama. If a husband is pleased by the wife's humble service attitude, what husband cannot do? He can do anything within this world, and he can also offer them liberation. So why and how? We'll see here a little bit. Patiri eva hi narinam daivatam paramam smritam. According to Shastra, a husband is the supreme object of worship for a woman. So traditionally, the wives accepted her husband to be complete for them. Daivatam Paramam, the supreme most deity for a wife is their husband. Vasudeva, the husband of the goddess of fortune and present deity of Chitta within all beings. Manasa Sarva Bhutanam Vasudeva Shriyapatihi. He is worshipped through the various names and forms representing devatas by fruity workers. Similarly, a husband, the representative of the Supreme Lord, is worshipped by a woman. Saeva Devata Lingair Nama Rupa Vikalpitai Ijjate Bhagavan Pumbihi Sribis Cha Pati Rupadrak. So now there are 2 points. One point is that the woman considers traditionally her husband to be the most worshipable object, worthy of object. So now the question comes, who is the supreme most worthy object of worship? According to all Shastra, that is Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu is worshipped sometimes directly by people in general, and sometimes Lord Vishnu is worshipped indirectly through the representative means. Though some people are worshipping Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Surya, and all, but it is it is indirect worship of devatas, but it is direct worship of devatas, but indirect worship of Lord Vishnu only. Because they are worshipping all these devatas as the representative of Supreme Lord Vishnu only. They are not worshipping them because what they are. They are one worships all these devatas because all these devatas are representatives of the Supreme Lord. Because it is Supreme Lord who is situated in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma, the Lord of Chitta, etc. The same concept we discussed during Daksha Prajapati. When Daksha Prajapati entered into the assembly, everyone got up except Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Later on, Mother Sati inquired from Lord Shiva, what was the reason? Everyone, everyone got up. You could have also got up. After all, he is your father-in-law. At least he is elder in age. If other aspects, he may not be superior to you, but in age, he is elder to you. So you could have got up. What was the problem in that? Then Lord Shiva mentioned one point. When somebody comes to us, comes to our home and all, we immediately got up and offer namaskar and welcome them with pleasing words. That welcome is not to the person. That welcome is actually to the Paramatma, who is situated in the heart and with the Lord of the and with the Lord husband of Mother Lakshmi. Vasudeva Shriyapati. Not some so-called material Vasudeva, but the original Vasudeva with the husband of Goddess of Fortune. So I was already offering respects to the Paramatma within my heart. The same Paramatma was also there in the heart of your father also. Then what was the need to offer respects double? I'm already worshipping him. And there was no need to worship him somewhere else. So like that Lord Shiva mentioned. that your father did not understand and necessarily became angry with me that day. So now, this is the point. Just like people in general, living in it in general, worship Lord Vishnu either directly or indirectly by worshipping the different devatas whom they consider as the representative of Lord Vishnu. Similarly, a woman worships her husband as the representative of Lord Vishnu. So this is the point, the traditional point, very important point. And for this point, we will discuss a little bit. So before that, the husband is a jiva. How can he be the Lord? So when Kashyapa is saying that Daivatam Paramam Patir eva hi Narinam Daivatam Paramam Smrutam, how can he call? How can she consider him to be Daivata? Because husband is a simply jiva, ordinary living entities. How can he be the Lord? Lord Vasudeva, preferred deity of the Chitta, is worshipped by Karma Yogis by indications of Devatas, such as names like Indra and the forms like his forms holding a thunderbolt, etc. Variously combined. So, though the people of this world they may worship Lord Vishnu in the form of Devatas, but actually, the husband is not worthy of worship. How can you say that husband is considered as a Param Devata by a wife? How can you do this? Even if somebody karma is considered Devatas to be Lord Vishnu or Lord Vishnu Pentatives, that is okay because that is their knowledge and understanding, but they are doing like that. Thus, the Lord is addressed by various names and forms with words like Indraya Swaha, Agneya Swaha. Similarly, the Lord in the form of a husband is worshipped by one's wife. So, this is the traditional understanding of how a woman treats her husband. For women, the husband is the representative of Lord Vishnu. And for a wife, the husband is the most worthy object of worship. And we will discuss this point elaborately. But before that, Mataji raised one hand. Why? Any question, Mataji?
Sorry, Prabhuji, my laptop is having some problem. Arrow is going anywhere. Please ignore.
Okay, no problem. So now, one question to all of you who are all there in the. Okay, somebody else raised hand. Okay, you only. You are again. So no issue. Anyone can tell what all happens in a marriage. If some of you witnessed the entire marriage, what all happens in the marriage?
Fera, that
No, don't tell abbreviated words. Some details.
sorry.
Give details, Prabhuji. What do you mean by Fera? What was the purpose of that Fera?
I think it is circumambulating the Lord there.
Roji, basically, we take vows.
What kind of vows?
To be supportive, to be always together, keeping the interest of the other person, the priority actually, things like that.
Okay. Modern contemporary purport. Something as it
Sorry?
is. Something as it is. What exactly happens in the marriage?
Prabhuji, in front of the Agni, the husband takes takes up the responsibility of the wife of providing whatever she needs throughout the life, and wife takes the vow of serving her husband faithfully throughout her life. So that is why all the guests and are also invited for that purpose, that they are all the witness for their vows.
Okay, before
Basically,
going that is all fine. This taking vows and all fine. Okay, now tell me, in your vernacular language, within your mother tongue, what was the name used for marriage? What are the different names used for marriage?
Vivaha.
Then
Lagna.
then
We also say Kalyanam.
then
Samskar.
Samskar, most traditional. Not
Samskar,
sorry.
it's Lagna Samskar only.
That is fine. It's samskara only, but there is one important name for marriage. One important activity, one important thing happens in the marriage.
Kanyadan, is it?
Kanyadan. The parents offer their kanya in charity to the groom. And now, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, all of you Bhakti Shastris have studied about charity. Whom charity should be given, under what circumstances, and what kind of charity. There was elaborate description. Lord Krishna himself says, charity in the mode of ignorance, charity in the mode of passion, charity in the mode of goodness. So, especially charity in the mode of goodness. What kind of charity was made?
What we give, that doesn't that doesn't make it in which mode it is now, with what intention and what mindset one makes, that will make it in the whichever mode it is to be situated.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You don't get into analysis, but just tell me what kind of charities are given in the mode of goodness
Cow,
according to Bhagavad Gita chapter 17.
cow or land.
No, not
and
exactly like that. Charity should be given to a worthy recipient.
A Brahmana?
Yeah, we may say Brahmana, but Lord Krishna did not say that Brahmana and all. Lord Krishna says charity should be given at a auspicious time, at a bona fide place, to a worthy recipient. These three are important. The time is important, the place is important, and the recipient is also important. Charity in the
Deshaka.
mode of goodness cannot be given to anybody and anywhere and anytime. Desha kalecha patrecha, as Prabhuji rightly said. You can remember, you can open and see Bhagavad Gita also. These three are the important considerations of charity in the mode of goodness. Because marriage is one of the important samskara, and in marriage, the important activity of the marriage is kanyadhan, offering kanya in dan. So, when charity is going to be made, it cannot be offered at a wrong place, at a wrong time, to a wrong person. Yes or no? Do you accept?
yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that's why muhurta is set up. Marriages cannot happen whenever we want. When the muhurta is there, that time only marriage will be performed. And marriage also cannot happen anywhere. A couple of days before, where marriage is to happen, the Kalyana Mandapam is erected. Nowadays, the marriages are happening in the professional Kalyana Mandapas. But this is not the traditional. Traditionally, either marriage used to happen in front of their own home or in the courtyard of the temple. The courtyard of the temple is always auspicious. There is no doubt about it. The second thing, in front of one's own courtyard, one's own home, they actually invoke the devatas. The day before, the entire auspicious arrangements of the Kalyana Mandapa erection, there is a procedure, there is a puja, invoking all the devatas there. So in their presence, auspicious presence, my marriage will be done. That means, even though our home may not be so auspicious, but it will be made auspicious. So the day before the marriage ceremony, or on the same day of the marriage ceremony, also there is Yajna Kunda is invoked, and Yajna Kunda is arranged, and all the devatas are invoked. In the presence of all the devatas, only marriage is happened. So in that way, the first place to perform marriage is temple. Second place to perform marriage is one's own home, where all the ceremonies are performed according to Vedic rituals. The third place, it's okay, because nowadays, because of the place constraints, we may perform in the place where the Kalyana Mandapa was erected. But if the only marriages are happening there in a proper way, that is good. But the same place is used for beer party, this party, that party, and all. That auspiciousness won't be there in that place. It becomes so commercially utilized by people, anybody and anyone. So it may not be keeping that auspiciousness intact. So, but anyway, it is like that. And the most important is a person, the patrata. Patra should have the patrata. So, it is said in the mantras of the marriage that how does the parents of the girl offer their daughter in marriage to the son-in-law? They wash the feet of the going to be son-in-law. According to tradition, the elder person should never touch the feet of younger person. But in the marriage, the parents of the girl not only touch but wash. Not only wash, they put that foot wash water on their head. Why? What makes this person is so qualified that the girl's parents are washing his feet and putting that foot wash water on their head? Any insight?
It's considered the husband is to be husband is considered as a form of Vishnu, like that day.
Only that day?
No, later on also, like means always they say that the husband and wife is the Vishnu and Lakshmi, that kind of
No, not like that. Yeah, matlab, you are extending it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Huh.
Lord, because Lord is considered as a representative. That person, the groom is considered as a representative of Lord Narayana.
Okay.
And
So?
in that, so we consider him as Narayan himself.
Okay. So wash his feet.
Huh. And giving because it is Lord, every Lord is the Purusha and others are Prakriti.
No need to get into all that philosophy and all. So that is fine. But why? Why one is supposed to consider the person as the representative of Lord Vishnu that day?
Because he's an enjoyer.
Or afterwards also? Huh?
Because he's the only enjoyer.
No, that is not the purpose.
because he is the only worthy person to the Kanya can be given in donation dan. Like
What makes him worthy?
So he is
course,
going to
yes.
take responsibility of his wife for the rest of his life, no?
What kind of responsibility?
All
Can't
types
he
of
himself? Can the
responsibility.
parents themselves cannot take? The parents have raised the child up till now. They can't continue to provide the maintenance of the child till the end of their life.
Children have to get married.
Huh? That's why I asked.
but
Great.
if they
And understood.
Prabhuji, if the girl remains with the parents only, they can take the care of maintenance, but they cannot give her happiness because when she grows up, she wants to be a mother, she wants to have a child and her own family. So that all thing will not happen if she only remains with her parents. No problem.
Okay, fine. These are all correct only. I'm not saying they are wrong. But one important aspect from the traditional aspect of marriage, what that makes Varam Varaya Vamurmi, okay, not this. Preeti Patir Evahi Narinam Daivatam Paramam Smrutam. What makes this point valid? That for that you did not give any answer. None of you gave any answer. Why? Why so much? Because just because he's providing the lady maintenance, just because he is providing children to the lady, so he is worthy of respect. And that respect is also to the maximum extent. Till now, this person might not have touched anyone's feet. Maybe his own parents, he might have touched the feet, but I don't think so. He have washed. If at all he washed, he might have washed his one's guru's feet and put the hand water on the head. But now he is washing the feet of a young person and putting the water in his head. What next? Please remember attending a marriage ceremony and hearing the mantras chanted there by the priest. Okay, now there is a equivalent ceremony that is called initiation ceremony. What happens in the initiation ceremony?
The disciple takes vows in front, making Agni as a sakshi to the spiritual master,
Okay,
that he
that is
will
fine.
follow
That is
the
fine.
yeah.
That is fine. So now, don't get into discussion from the point of view of disciple. Discuss from the point of view of guru. What makes this person qualified to be a guru? So that the disciple is accepting him as guru and takes initiation from him and devotes one's entire life in the service of that guru. Just like here, the wife devoting her life in the service of her husband, considering him to be Paramadaivatam. For a disciple, guru is the Paramadaivatam. For a wife, husband is the Paramadaivatam. Both are similar. So now, what makes that understanding?
Because Guru has
The
taken
Guru
complete
takes the
shelter of the Supreme Lord.
That
he'll
is
take the
detailed.
Continue,
back
Guru.
to Godhead.
Yes, Binit Prabhu.
The Guru will take the responsibility of taking the disciple back to the spiritual world, Godhead.
Ah, this is the point. But does Guru say that I myself will take you back home back to Godhead?
No, he does not say. It is implied in that relationship.
No, it is implied. Actually, Guru will represent the parampara which is coming from the Supreme Lord. Moksha pradata sarvesham Vishnu revana samshaya. Lord Shiva speaks to Mother Parvati in Padma Purana. Among the persons who can offer moksha, there is only one person without any doubt. No one else other than he can offer moksha. The representative of that Supreme Lord can facilitate the attainment of the same moksha. That's why in our sampradayas, we consider Guru to be non-different from the Supreme Lord. Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre. Sakshat Haritvena. Because the Guru is coming in the line of disciplic succession, one should consider him to be the representative of Supreme Lord Krishna, and one should dedicate one's own Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, one's complete life in the service of the Supreme Lord. As a result of that, when the Guru is pleased, when the Parampara is pleased, when the Supreme Lord is pleased, one is awarded liberation. So we are surrendering to Guru because we accepted Guru to be representative of the Supreme Lord within the bracket. Guru to be non-different from the Supreme Lord. That's why we perform Guru Puja also every day. Same way, in the marriage ceremony, whether it is the girl who is getting married, whether it is the parents of the girl who are getting married, there is one understanding. Among all the charities, the best charity is Kanyadan. So this is the reason in the past they used to get the girls married early when they still remain Kanya, not only physically but mentally also. Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, when the girl had any thoughts of attraction to any men, any physical connection with any other men, when they are still, according to Sanskrit Kanya, that charity is considered to be the best of all charities. One may offer so much gold, one may offer land, one may offer so many things. But among all the charities, the best charity is Kanyadan. And why? One is the charity itself is so great, so it cannot be offered to somebody who is ordinary. It can only be offered to someone who is great. Who is the great among all the people in this entire creation? The Supreme Lord Vishnu. So a Kanya can only be offered to Lord Vishnu. But obviously, every parent cannot offer their Kanya to Lord Vishnu. Only one or two notable cases may be there, like the one we see in the case of Andal Alvar. The Vishnu Chitta Alvar offered his daughter to Ranganathji. And then another case is that Janaka Maharaj offered his daughter in marriage to Lord Rama. So, because they are in knowledge, they are completely in knowledge. So, my daughter is not a ordinary daughter, and this daughter cannot be offered to ordinary person. Janaka Maharaj always wanted his daughter to be married to someone who is of same worthy, who can lift that Shiva Chapa. So, that made it is clear that the person who is lifting Shiva Chapa is not ordinary person. He is either on par with Lord Shiva or superior to Lord Shiva. No one below Lord Shiva can lift that. So that clearly indicated that. So the worthy recipient will be accepting the hand. The next third one, even Rukmini, that Rukmini's father, the foster father who nourished Rukmini and all, he understood Rukmini's transcendental qualities, and he also had a desire that the people, all the great sages are glorifying Krishna to be the supreme Lord. Let Krishna be the husband of my daughter. They personally always want to have their daughters married with Lord Vishnu directly. But people in general, that may not be possible for everyone. So at least they want to offer their Kanya to someone who represents Lord Vishnu and who takes the responsibility of her, not only from the worldly point of view, but the most importantly from the point of view of emancipation, from the point of view of facilitating her liberation, facilitating the liberation of the children going to be born through her. This is the vow taken by the husband at the time of marriage. Because the husband is taking this vow in one sense on behalf of Lord Vishnu, the parents of the girl treat him on par with Lord Vishnu, wash his feet and put the water on their heads and then offer their kanya in marriage to that boy. And then eventually they treat the boy for the entire life also, like the representative of Lord Vishnu only. That's why the son-in-law is given high respect whenever they go to the in-laws home. Because from ordinary dealings point of view, you are also a person, he is also a person, you are actually the elder to him, you are more matured and more, you sometimes the father-in-law could be more wealthy, also more educated, also all these things, but still, philosophically, on the day of marriage, he was considered as the representative of Lord Vishnu. That consideration will continue till the lifetime of last breath by the parents as well as by the girl also. From the traditional point of view, it was the boys used to go to Gurukul. The girls were never gone to Gurukul. And it was the boys, even today also we can see South India, all the traditional temples, it was the boys or the male who worship the Lord entering into Garbhagruha. The woman does not enter into Garbhagruha. The men serve the Guru directly, the men serve the deity directly, and the women serve the husband. Considering the husband as the representative of the deity and as the representative of the Guru. So this was the traditional system. But today, in the modern state of affairs, because of the need of the hour, the Prabhupada also made the Matajis as pujaris, and the Matajis also are directly taking initiation from the Guru, and then everything is happening on par with the men. But in the past, I mean, at least we don't see any instances of women getting initiated by acharyas. When the men gets initiated, the wife being Ardhangi, she automatically gets initiated. She no need to have a separate initiation ceremony. So that's why the women would, for them, they would consider the husband to be Parama Daivata, all in all, because the husband is the representative of the Supreme Lord, husband is the representative of the Guru, and they would amicably follow everything with respect to the husband. So this is the Vedic understanding of marriage. That's what our Kashyapa is talking about it here. I'm sorry if I talked about so much high about marriage and all, but this is what I've understood by reading the entire marriage procedure a document published by Sri Vaishnavas. In that it says there are so many mantras also chanted during the marriage, saying that it is the time of marriage, the husband takes the responsibility of making sure that the wife accomplishes her dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Matlab, husband takes the responsibility on behalf of Lord Vishnu that he will facilitate and provide everything. That's why Mother Lakshmi says in her prayers in the fifth canto, if you remember, so she says that in this world, no one but Lord Vishnu can offer liberation. Why these women are coming to Lord Vishnu and praying that we want to have good husband, this husband. The husband himself is afraid of his own liberation, then how can he facilitate the liberation of her wife, his wife? So that was the opinion of Mother Lakshmi. But everyone, um, in a practical sense, may not be on the same level of accepting Lord Vishnu as their husband and continuing like that. So from the practical worldly dealings point of view, so one need to marry. So in that marriage, this is the relationship. This is the understanding between them. So this is how the marriage used to happen in the past. And now I don't know. I never visited. I mean, I have not, at least in the recent times, I have not visited the marriage. What things are happening, how things are happening, etc. So many 10 to 12 years back, I attended. I mean, I can't say that I attended completely. I did not witness the complete ceremony also. But my sister's marriage, which I was personally overseeing all the arrangements, my father passed away before that only. So that afterwards, my brother-in-law's younger brother, his marriage I was present, but not personally involved in any of the activities. It is all long back in 2000. One is in 2009, other one was in 2011 or so. That's all. So it is like that. So any thoughts? What I said is right or wrong? Anyone seen like something like this or heard like this, something like this?
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
thank you for
Birit Prabhu.
Prabhuji, usually in the older times, you said that marriage happened when both the boy and the girl are children, well,
Ah,
small age.
ah.
So how will the boy be aware that it is his responsibility for Pura Dharma, Kam and Moksha?
No, boy was not too small. Boy actually gone to Gurukula, and the day when a boy comes back from Gurukula, he was married. And girl would be very small age. Before attaining puberty, the girl would be married. Because starting from the time of puberty, I'm sorry to tell all these things, but this is what I heard, I just repeated. The women starts developing attractive feelings towards the men. So, just now I told, because it is called Kanya Dan. The girl should be Kanya from mentally, physically, verbally also. That's what Mother Sita says, na? If at all have never thought about any men other than my husband in my manasa vacha karmana, let my mother Bhudevi come and take me on a lap. Then Bhudevi comes and takes Mother Sita. So that was the way the marriages were there in the past. That was the way they were treated in the past. So this is the reason the girls were married early. And in one sense, they were married as small girls and they were not exposed to any other men. By the time they attain puberty, they start developing some attraction towards the men. So at that time, they were already engaged in the service of the husband. So it's actually said that after the marriage, also immediately the girl was not sent to husband's home. Even after the marriage, few years, the girl was at home only. But in the meantime, the husband would find out his occupation. So this is what after Gurukula education, the boy would come back and get married. He was not settled yet. Then the girl would stay at the parents' home only. In the meantime, the husband would get his occupation ready and all. And after she attained the puberty, then the girl would be sent to the boy's home. So then the both of them will be attracted to each other. They will stay together for the rest of life. But nowadays, the concept of marriage is entirely different only. It is going in a different tangent only. So this was the reason the child marriage used to happen in the past.
So the boy, if you would follow his Varnashram Dharma, automatically they would attain liberation. That's how it would work.
No, not automatically.
Then
If you perform Varnashram Dharma to attain liberation, you will get liberation. you will not get as a default result. Liberation is not obtained by Varnashrama just alone. If Varnashrama alone can offer you liberation, then why to practice the Bhakti Yoga, why to practice Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga?
So the boy should be having the knowledge of mukti.
Obviously ना, he has gone to Gurukul. Gurukul में सब कुछ सिखाएंगे ना, और क्या सिखाएंगे ये सब में तो? He has not gone to English convent school. He has gone to Gurukula.
Okay.
He has studied under the Guru. Even in the past, the Guru who teaches them everything in the Gurukula is their spiritual Guru also. The Guru is not just a teacher of the material subject matter. He is their spiritual Guru as well. The Guru not only teaches the Veda, the Guru also teaches them how to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, everything for the purpose of spiritual perfection. Everything is taught in the Gurukul and they also practice in the Gurukul while staying there. These are all like from birth only, everything is ingrained in them. For us, now it is a utopian idea. Bhakti, what Bhakti? Devatas, what Devatas? Temple, what temple? That is the condition now. But in the traditional sense, everyone would be taught from the day one. So now, you are being born as a human being, the purpose of life is to go home back to Godhead. This was the first thing that was taught to everyone. Now, which parents are teaching this? Of course, from external point of view, the marriage is meant for taking care of the girl and providing all our necessities and also begetting children. These are all there from the practical point of view. But the main purpose of marriage is the husband should take the responsibility of facilitating her journey back to Godhead. Facilitating the journey of the children born through her back to Godhead. Correct. This is the main understanding of marriage.
So if the wife serves the husband faithfully, she will go back to Godhead.
She will go back to Godhead by the things specific by husband. See, if the husband is a great devotee, by serving the great devotee, obviously she will go back to Godhead. So we are all accepting a guru with a great devotee. By serving that guru, one will go back to Godhead. Same thing. See, that means if the husband is taking the responsibility, means he himself is supposed to be devotee. He cannot be non-devotee and take the responsibility. Not at all possible. A guru cannot be a non-devotee and take the responsibility. I will make sure that he will go back to Godhead. Can that be possible?
No, Prabhuji.
It's like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for giving such a in-depth knowledge. In case of Guru, it is understood, but in case of husband, if we talk, like means what you're telling is about the Vedic culture when they used to go to Gurukul and their main thing they used to be taught is they have to go back to home one day. That is the aim of their life. But like in today's scenario, how far we can implement these things, because no husband or no groom is come with that understanding, unless even if he is a ISKCON devotee also, how many of have that clear understanding, because even in ISKCON we see nowadays so many marriages are breaking and things like that. So means how many have that understanding, and then if the situation itself is that shaky, how far a woman can really surrender in that way, that this person is going to, if I serve him faithfully, I will go back, like that. So means till the time we have that surety, otherwise this just remains theory, no, Prabhuji. How far practically we can implement it?
No.
Yes, if the husband is devotee and we are serving, then there is no problem at all. Then the situation is fine.
No, still there is a problem. Still there is a problem. It is not only that. See, what we are trying to understand is the concept. But in order to follow this particular procedure, we need to have a favorable atmosphere also. Now, the entire atmosphere today is entirely very much against to this kind of practices. So even though we may have that kind of mentality, the husband and wife may have that kind of mentality, but the husband and wife are living in the society itself does not have that kind of mentality, and it is very difficult for them to maintain that mentality for long, because they will be affected by surroundings many times. So in one sense, at least, yeah, you may say that anyway this is not practical, why are you speaking all these things today? And none of the things are practical now. The child marriage is not practical, Kanyadan is not practical in that sense, the concept. And then the husband being a great devotee at the time of marriage is not practical. Now we are not sure that husband will take the complete responsibility of, yeah, yes, husband will take the responsibility of the wife providing the necessary education. Now things are opposite. Now why the wife says, I will take the responsibility of you, don't worry. The situations are like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it is like that. Now the question is, nowadays my brother's marriages are going on. The question is, why would the girl only have to go to in-laws home? Why not the boy would come to the in-laws home? How long only girl will go to their home? Why not other way now?
Also, Prabhuji, like we are
Wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait,
the
wait, wait. Any thoughts about this, Pardeep Prabhu?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Why not girl only should go to in-laws home? Why not the boy should go to in-laws home and then stay there and serve the wife? This is the waves are going on nowadays. This kind of thought process is going on around nowadays.
Yes.
Because previously the husband used to work and wife used to take care of the home. Now the wife says, I will work better than you, I will earn more salary than you. You come and stay, take care of the home. That were the statements are spread across now.
Very true, Prabhu.
So now we are in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means adharmam dharmamiti, dharmam adharmamiti. Everything goes in the opposite order. So don't worry, don't get surprised. Things are happening, if things are happening otherwise. Things will become very bad as time progresses. At least now, at least people are getting married. Putting a muhurta and going in the temple and inviting all the relatives and all. In future, we don't know what all will happen. Whether marriage, something called as marriage, whether that will continue or not, also we don't know. That marriage ceremony also becomes like a utopian idea one day.
now also they have live-in relationships, no, Prabhuji, so
Many
many.
things, many things.
And in fact, lately it has been seen, I mean, in last 15-20 years, this is, I have also observing, even in devotee marriages, that muhurtam and all is just to write on the Nimantran Patrika. But actually, nobody follows. The marriage happens at some other time only. The muhurta is just on the paper like that. And nobody is even bothered about it. Means last 3-4 marriages I attended, I was really bothered about it. That muhurta is going and nobody's bothered what is happening like that. But it happens like that only.
So what can be done? That is called as the practical sense. So in the name of practicality, we are, because that's what Bhagavad Gita says, na deshe kalecha patrecha. The Kanyadan cannot happen anywhere. Kanyadan cannot happen anytime. It should happen at the proper place and proper time. Then only that Kanyadan is proper. So something like that. So, but whatever it is, I'm sorry to get into all these details, but I thought this is the context in which the discussion is going on. So his words are not like superficial glorification, but this is the traditional understanding. Because he himself is a teacher of Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga is teaching everything. For a person who is entering into marriage, they should understand why one is getting married, what is the meaning of the marriage, and what is the purpose of this marriage, and all everything they should know in detail. Otherwise, it simply becomes a ordinary ritual. It simply becomes a pomp, or nowadays it has become marriage has become a status quo. How much you are spending, So like that.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. One is in today's times when the husband is not practicing devotee, then what is the future of the wife in that case? Because
Does
if
anybody told him that, okay, are you marrying? Are you going to take this responsibility? Marriage के time पे कोई बोला क्या उनको?
obviously नहीं बोला तभी तो वो
हाँ,
practice नहीं
बोलने
कर
का
रहे हैं
responsibility किसका?
parents का.
हाँ, parents का, teachers का. But parents themselves don't know. And teachers also don't know because the teachers, which teachers they've been to? They've been to English convent school. The convent school में क्या सिखाएंगे? ABCD सिखाएंगे. They teach how to develop the skills and how to get job and how to get money.
Hmm.
If our upbringing is like that, then where we will get this information? Neither the parents or
No, when
the teachers
but
taught in the
when
Gurukul, nor during the time of marriage, no one is willing to understand the meaning of the mantras. Has anybody trying to understand the meaning of the mantras? Even one of my relative was telling me that. So can we request the priest to? We will arrange a priest in such a way that we'll request him to explain each and every mantra, so that I mean his intention was good, everything was good, but at that time, see, I was like very young. I mean like my sister is next to me only, and my father recently just passed away and just a year back, and I was not like a very matured person and all. So, and we are also trying to do the marriage in a nearby town, not in our village. So we are all worried about the logistics, how we are able to go in time and able to do everything in time, and how can we able to do all these things? Because if you want to make the priest to explain each and every mantra, you need to sit in the marriage mandap at least twice the time before than the actual time you sit.
yeah.
So then all these things are like practical limitations. I said no. But it seems for their daughter marriage, they arranged such kind of thing. The priest was explaining all the mantras, but even if they arrange the explanation of all the mantras, if they arrange sound system and all, this is my
Hmm.
personal observation. The people who come for the marriage, they sit behind and they keep talking to the friends whom they have
Yeah.
not met many days. They keep meeting, talking to their friends and here and there. Ultimately, at the
Hmm.
time of marriage, they take some akshita and then offer. And the most important thing is that they go for photo shoot. Nowadays, marriage means photo shoot.
Hmm.
Even if you arrange the explanation of the mantras, how many will listen to that? What to speak of how many? Whether the girl and boy will listen to it, will meditate upon the meaning of those things.
Hmm.
That also is a question.
So
So that,
that means when it is said that in Kali Yuga hardly anybody goes back to God, that means because of all these reasons that nobody goes back. Because as you're saying, even the parents were
hmm,
not aware of the vows, or even if they knew,
hmm,
the performance of the rituals were meant only for the sake of rituals and not meant
ah,
for what it is.
hmm.
Then 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 what's the hope?
The only hope is at least practice bhakti seriously. That's why Kaler dosha nide rajan asti eka mahan guna. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. Because in other ways, we will not be able to practice our dharma properly, we will not be able to practice our other aspects of life properly. At least take bhakti. For bhakti, there are no prerequisites in that sense.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
even at any point of time, at any place, take bhakti and practice bhakti. Kaliuga, that is the only hope. All other things, the traditional path of varnashrama system may not be so intact and may not be so helpful. So practice bhakti. That is the only hope. That's why we have both Mataji's taking to Guru's initiation, Prabhuji's are taking to initiation. That means other than Guru, no one can take the responsibility of somebody else, somebody of their dependents. The parents
Hmm.
also cannot take the responsibility of children. The children themselves have to take the shelter of Guru. So like that. So in one sense, the husband is also not promising with understanding, and that's why the husband is not obliged also.
Wow, this is nice.
Ah, what nice. Superficial promise does not anyway. But the marriage is meant for that. But anyway, they never understood, they never thought about it, and they never promised also in one sense. Even if they have said some words which are in Sanskrit, because they have not understood the meaning, so
So,
they might not have created any impact upon them.
so it's okay for them to not take the responsibility.
Not okay, but that's how things are happening.
Hmm.
See, but one is simple. Somebody giving up their entire family and coming to us and giving their entire life in service. So, to what extent one can reciprocate? One is taking their service, but in reciprocation, to what extent one can reciprocate? It should be always other way. So we have taken 100% service and we have only reciprocated 50%. It should not be like that. If we have taken
Hmm.
100%, 50% service, we should reciprocate 100%. That is the general way, traditional way. But unfortunately, in the Kali Yuga, it is other way. We want to exploit others. The more we want to
Right.
exploit others. I'm sorry to say like this, it's not to blame anybody. I have seen couple of cases. It can happen other way also. It is not that other way it is not happening. Even the boys
Yep.
also in the name of dowry, they actually torture the wife a lot. They torture the parents of the wife a lot. They keep asking every year, get me more dowry, get me more money, get me more money.
Yeah.
So this was happening for many decades, quite some time. But nowadays it is happening on the other side. Even though man gets married to a girl without taking any dowry, a year later the girl puts a case in the court saying that my husband and my mother-in-law and father-in-law are torturing me. So she will get divorce as well as she will also get some 10,
Hmm.
10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs, the maintenance Lakshmi.
Alimony.
What do you call that rule?
Alimony.
Whatever.
ALIMONY.
Alimony. So for no reason. Even though the parents did not give any dowry, but she claims that is nothing but karma comes back. In the previous life, this fellow might have taken some Lakshmi, and this life he is giving. So karma is getting balanced. So like that we can take, but things are changing. That is the point.
Okay, Prabhuji, one more question, if it's okay with you. Uh, for marriages, the saffron people, I mean the brahmacharis and the sannyasis, they don't attend the marriage, saying that it's considered inauspicious. But I don't understand, if a guru or a brahmachari comes, they are the well-wishers of us, right? Of the grahasthas. And why is it that kind of thing? Like, why they can't come for the marriage?
No, see, what do you mean by sannyasi? Or in fact, vanaprastha? What is the meaning of vanaprastha and sannyasi?
Somebody who has completely given up
Completely.
the materialistic,
What,
thing, yeah.
what they have given up?
Materialistic, any connections or
Not
anything
like
like
that,
that.
not materialistic connections. The worldly way of living. So
Worldly.
basically, the worldly way of living is in connection with Agni. They will give up the connection with Agni. So they have decided to stay away from Agni
Okay.
by being a vanaprastha or a sannyasi. And in the case of brahmacharis, because if one is a brahmachari, if they are going to get married, even while they are in brahmachari, they are in Gurukul, they will never attend a marriage. After their brahmachari lifestyle is over, the first thing they attend is their own marriage, traditionally. So uske baad, when they become grahastha, they will attend so many other marriages also. But if they take decision to continue the brahmachari for lifelong, and they are as good as a vanaprasthas only, so they would never attend like Agni. So marriage means Agni. So they are not supposed to be there. They voluntarily chosen to stay away from Agni, and why would they come to Agni? So Agni
Okay,
means
but if
yajna.
they, yeah. So
Hmm.
other yagyas they attend, right?
Yeah, yajna in relation to Nishkama Karma Yoga. They want to stay away from all the yajnas connected to Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is performed by a householder. So they want to stay away from those things. That is a voluntary decision. So they will stay away.
But why is it considered inauspicious? My question is
No, who
that.
considered it inauspicious? No one considered. You only saying inauspicious.
I, I have heard somebody told me that
Okay.
it's not right to invite saffron because it's considered inauspicious. And I was like, how is that inauspicious?
No. No, that is not required because they have already chosen not to stay in that province, in that premises. They want to stay, just respect their sentiments and not invite them.
That is a
So,
different.
but it is not like
Hare
inauspicious and all.
Krishna.
Correct.
Prabhuji, but we do see in current scenario that in some of the ISKCON marriages, even the sannyasis come. Like I
See,
have seen.
Mataji, don't get into ISKCON. ISKCON is a Apad Dharma. It is the institute of Apad Dharma. Everything that we do is Apad Dharma. We being continuing as brahmachari is also Apad Dharma. Our sannyasis becoming sannyasis is also Apad Dharma. Everything is Apad Dharma only. Traditionally, the meaning of brahmacharis and meaning of sannyasis is entirely different from what is we are doing.
Oh,
Ours
okay.
becoming sannyasis and brahmacharis is all just to facilitate the preaching. तो
Okay,
preaching के
okay.
लिए जो भी चाहिए वो सब करते हैं. शादी के लिए अटेंड करना है अटेंड करेंगे. सेरेमनी के लिए जाने हैं जाएंगे. मृत्यु सेरेमनी में भी जाएंगे. इवन the brahmacharis and sannyasis are not supposed to visit any death ceremony also. But our people visit every death ceremony in the congregation. So this is Apad Dharma.
Okay, because we, at least for me, I can talk that I have not seen many things outside ISKCON. So I
If you
think
go to
whatever
Sri
goes on
Vaishnavas,
in
if you go to
ISKCON
Sri
is
Vaishnavas
only
and
that.
Madhvas, they follow strictly the traditional system. Everything they follow very strictly.
Yeah. In this connection, just I wanted to share one incident, Prabhuji, like 2-3 minutes. I had met one of the ISKCON pujaris who perform the marriage means who used to perform the marriage ceremonies and all, and he just mentioned that for last 10 years I have stopped performing marriages because even in ISKCON I have seen he gave 1 or 2 examples that marriage muhurtam was at 6 o'clock in the evening. Until 8:30 the girl has not appeared only because she's doing her makeup, and ultimately after waiting for 2.5 hours he himself and another pujari, both of them just poured the water in the kalash वगैरह जो भी रखा था, and they just went off that you perform marriage whenever you want, we can't wait more, like that. So this is a situation, ISKCON marriage I'm talking about.
Then who
So
is responsible to teach them properly? The parents should tell them, no. The
yeah,
girl may be devotee,
right.
parents may not be devotees. So all such cases will be the parents are devotees also. They should tell that time punctuality need to be followed.
Yeah, that's what they say. That means, as you rightly said, everyone is only means engrossed in decoration, the and the photography part of it, and nobody is really. Only is mentioned that one couple who had come from Australia, and they were so very interested. They first came and understood all the mantras, and then they said that we want means then whatever the important mantras and their meaning, na, they have put in their house and as a small captions, so that we will read it, and we will have that enhance our understanding of marriage by this, like that. So very few are like that, he was saying.
Okay, both okay. It's okay. We'll continue with our Bhagavatam discussion. So, because this is the topic, even last year, last December, when I was in Bombay, I took these 2 chapters for the devotees, Mukunda Mala Prabhu's branch, Bhakti Vaibhav branch. I explained all these things that time also. I thought I just explained to you all also. So, a few things about marriage. Even though I am speaking, I never told all these things to my family members who are all married. Because, see, it is not about telling. It is all about one who is eager to understand and follow them or not. We may get information, but if there is no transformation of that information, there is no point in getting the information. So at least all devotees understand the concept of initiation. I just compared the both the ceremonies. Though this ceremony is not seen on that light nowadays by people, by anyone in general, but at least we should have some general idea what it is. That is, next time when you attend any marriage, kindly be attentive to the mantra chanted by the priest and ask them the meaning of the verses, so that let us, we'll see. At least this understanding is as per the mantra chanted by the Sri Vaishnavas. For the regular priest, whether their understanding is also same or not, I don't know, but it should be the same. It should be the understanding. At one point of time, I've been to Trambakeshwar. One of my close relative, aunt, my father's elder sister, who stayed in our home only. After her marriage, in few days, her husband became mentally retarded and they stayed in our home entire life. And my father passed away. The next year, my sister got married. In no time, maybe in 4 or 5 months, she passed away. And my mother was, some of the people, my family member, they were telling that since your family recently got married, now your family member should not perform the final rites. Of course, we are not our sons also, so we are not supposed to perform. But the point I made is that my younger brother, she was very much closely connected to him. She loved him as her own son. She nurtured him like that. So we said, no, this is our understanding, so let us do it. But they said, no, no. If required, we can request her daughter's son to do it. But the daughter's son did not do. They said, no, no, will not do. So no one did anything. There was some problem, and then the priest suggested that no, no, the final rite did not perform properly. They should be performed in the presence of a Jyotirlinga. So I personally went to our Triambakeshwar, and I performed all the ceremonies for 3 days. So I paid attention to each and every mantra. I mean, jitna tak I can understand the Sanskrit to that extent. Every mantra is addressed to Lord Vishnu only. Though in between you are chanting Devata mantras, but ultimately everything is addressed to Lord Vishnu. Even though it is Shraddha ceremony, because the Shraddha ceremony is meant to elevate spiritually the departed soul. The only person who can elevate them, who can provide them good circumstances where they can practice bhakti is Lord Vishnu or Lord Vishnu's representative. Because it is Shraddha ceremony, they will chant to all the devatas who are Lord Vishnu's representatives, and they chant to Lord Vishnu directly, because he is the awarder of liberation and he is the facilitator of getting liberation and all. So it is like a perfect bona fide ceremony. Even though the ceremony is being done in Triambakeshwar, it is a holy place of Lord Shiva also, but every mantra is chanted perfectly addressing to Lord Vishnu. Because ceremony is ceremony, no one can change the ceremony. I hope the marriage ceremony also must be same, whether Sri Vaishnavas are performing, others are performing. The marriage mantras, maybe little bit changes may be there, but otherwise it should be same. So some of you may witness and let me know what the mantra they chanted, what kind of things are happening.
Hare Krishna, Privilege, sorry, one small question. Like when generally it is said that if a wife performs the service of husband properly, she gets half the benefit of whatever pious activities husband is doing. Even in ISKCON also it is said. But then if husband is not a good person and he's doing some papa karma, for example, then whether that also half the pap karma comes to wife because she's serving him.
Ideally, it is true, but still you can ask someone who can have more grip on this subject matter, because the marriage bond is like that. Whatever husband does, 50% of that goes to wife. Whatever wife does, 50% of that goes to husband. It is matlab, it is a shastric understanding. So practically, if they are with the same mentality, it will happen like that. Even once I was reading, after my father's death only, I was reading the Garuda Purana just to understand. People say always Garuda Purana, and all. In that one point was mentioned. I mean, like, because I was reading first time, one sloka says that when people eat together, when people sleep together, when people talk together, and when people do activities together, they will share their karmas. The karma of the other person will be shared by the second person. So obviously, we see in the homes, marriage, homes, the husband eats and afterwards, many times I saw that the wife eats in the same plate after husband eats. Of course, nowadays many don't follow like that. They say do to, but traditionally it used to be like that. Or even it is not that together also. Even the food was prepared for two people or 100 family people, they eat together. In that sense, may not be in the same plate, but in the same plate will be like more close connection. But otherwise, also the same prasadam is being eaten by both the people. So they were cooking for both of them, they are eating together. So in that way also. And speak together. Both wife and husband continuously speak to each other. They continuously share their thoughts. By speaking, by sharing our thoughts, we are influencing other person, or by hearing other person, we are getting influenced by other person. So we share our karmas. And by doing activities together. So in the family, people, both husband and wife do the activities were both together. So they share karmas. Though husband is working in the office, so whatever salary comes, it is spent for both wife and husband. It does not, if husband will not say that. So I'm only working in the office, whatever salary comes, I only have to enjoy. So you wife do not deserve to spend one paisa from that. Does anybody will say like that, Sadi Prabhu? Does ever anybody say? Will they enter in? Will
No,
they allow to enter into the home?
that would
So
be the end of it.
end of it. So from see from the practical point of view, also the salary is being shared. Then what to speak of the karma phala? Obviously, it will be shared by both and sleep together. Obviously, wife and husband sleep together. So in that way.
Okay. Because why I ask is many times this is a practical situation, Prabhuji, that the wife is very much devoted. She's advancing in devotion. She wants to take initiation, but at home, husband is not taken up devotion. He's still eating meat and things like that. So then, what means they come to us for advice? What should be done? And it is very difficult to for because we ourselves are not resolved completely that what should be the right
Uh,
move.
so now,
Because
the
yeah,
same point just to conclude, from Varnashrama point of view, every activity that is performed under the purview of Varnashrama, it will be shared by both. But when it comes to bhakti, bhakti is beyond three gunas. Whatever general rules that we apply for the things in general may not be applicable for bhakti related activities. Bhakti is supersedes actually beyond the rules of Varnashrama. So when bhakti is practiced by husband, bhakti practiced by wife, so bhakti means their own nava. They have to drive their own vehicle in that sense. So I'm not saying that they will not share others, but at least if a wife is practicing bhakti sincerely, some credits of her practicing bhakti will also shared by husband. The husband may not change this lifetime, but the impact of this bhakti can come in the next life, in the life of the husband.
okay.
And
So good part of yeah. Sorry.
that is good part. From the bad part, because husband is still doing some activities and wife will also get affected. Yes, to some extent, because husband is doing, but husband is not forcing the wife to do it. When he is not influencing the wife in those activities, it remains individual activities. When I said when they perform together, they exchange karma. When one performs activity individually for oneself, not for both, then that influence may not be so much.
Okay.
I mean, just to pacify ourselves, we can take it like this. I'm not sure. That's why I said you can talk to some senior devotee who knows this matter
Yeah.
better. But this is my understanding.
So at least if he is not forcing her
Ah,
to cook
yeah,
and things like that, then that is okay. He will share
yeah,
the good karma of her, but she will
ah,
not share the
yeah.
bad karma like
That
that.
too with their intention. If the husband is like, okay, she is doing something, okay, I'll respect her, but I have my own priorities, so I will do like this without affecting her. He is doing those things outside home and all and all. So he is doing individually without the knowledge of wife. So then it's up to him. So when wife does bhakti only for herself, then the good pious part will not go to husband. If wife does, okay, let my husband also get benefited by my bhakti, then the benefits will come to him. So that is also there. Intention is also required. It's not only the activity, intention also matters.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So, so it's like that. Okay, Vinit Prabhu, any concluding remarks?
Maybe you should start introducing all this Vedic system again so that it can benefit temple
So
people.
ball is in your court. Please start.
You are supposed to lead the revolution, Prabhuji.
No, no, I am no one. I am only sharing with all of you, the Bhakti Vaibhav students, who can listen to me. If I start speaking all these things to outsiders, they will say, stop, all this not required. Get out, like that they will say. But at least you people are not, at least you people are, okay. Whatever I am speaking, you are listening. So that's why I am speaking. So, but anyway, it's better to have some understanding whether we are able to practice or not. That is secondary thing. But at least we can tell our children, our next generation, It's like all of you have children. I mean, Vinit Prabhu, not Vinit Prabhu, or Naya Prabhu have their daughter. Mataji also has their daughter and other children also. It's like we can teach our children because anyway these things are not taught in the schools and all. Someday we should teach. They should have some basic idea about all these things. Whether they may accept it or not, other thing, but some knowledge should be there. So in that way.
Hare Krishna
Just एक
Prabhuji.
बार उनको बता के देखो क्या what response they will get. Let me know nowadays how the children will react to this kind of understanding. What kind of perception they will have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Today, nowadays, children don't want to get married. They don't want to take any responsibility, actually. The society is
Because
completely changed.
yeah, what can be done? That's what they are seeing.
Yes.
They are seeing the marriages are even. I'm sorry to say that that is one of the
Yes.
motive for me to become brahmachari. I used to see the fights in the home always. Either fight between my father, mother, or the fight between my parents and my father's elder brother, their family. So neighbors basically. So there are so many fights, so many fights, so many fights, and all the relatives they would come and they would demand so much. My father would facilitate their demands and all. I thought, ऐसा बहुत हो गया, दूर रहना अच्छा है. So it is like that. Sometimes. So I'm also the same category. You said nowadays children don't want to marry. So I'm also same category.
What they say is also true because boys are worried that women are very smart. They just think of us as an ATM. And women feel that why should we serve?
See, this is the problem.
We have-
So this concept should be there. The
Yes,
wife should
Prabhuji.
treat the husband as Paramadaivatam, and the husband should feel himself as the representative of Vasudeva. I am representative of Vasudeva. I am not here to exploit them, but I am here to facilitate their going back to Godhead. If both of them have this kind of understanding, so in that understanding, I think life should go smoothly. Even though there may be some issues, small, chota mota here and there, but still, if this understanding is always in the forefront, those issues can be resolved. When this understanding is not there, so sometimes it is very difficult to resolve the issues. Even though the issue may be small, when we see in the concave convex mirror, the small issue becomes like a huge mountain. So like that. Okay, fine. Couple of slokas will take. This section at least 36 will complete. Tasmat pativrata narya
तस्मात् प्रतिव्रता नार्या
श्रेयस्कामास्तु मध्यमे
श्रेयस्कामासु मध्यमे
यजन्ते अनन्यभावेन
यजन् यजन्ते अनन्यभावेन
पतिम् आत्मानमीश्वरम्.
पतिम् आत्मानमीश्वरम्. My dear wife, whose body is so beautiful, your waist being thin, a conscientious wife should be chaste and should abide by the orders of her husband. She should very devoutly worship her husband as a representative of Vasudeva.
See this verse. The direct meaning of this verse is the understanding of a wife towards husband. And then the same thing, you remove the wife and keep the husband, and remove the husband and keep the Supreme Lord. The same kind of mentality the husband should have for Lord Vishnu. Then that is a good marriage. Oh, beautiful wife. A wife devoted to her husband, desiring the highest benefit. What is the highest benefit? To go back home back to Godhead. How many wives today have this desire? Shreyas Kama, the ultimate Shreya. What should be her desire? To go back home back to Godhead. With that desire only one should get into married life. So it is like that. And should very devotedly worship her husband. Yajante Ananya Bhavena. We talk about Bhakti Ananya Bhavena. Ananya Chintayanto Ma Mejana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamiham. Same thing. Just like a husband worships Lord Vishnu, similarly the wife should serve her husband. The same mentality. Because for husband, Lord Vishnu is Lord Vishnu. For wife, her husband is Lord Vishnu. It's like that. For what purpose? Desiring the highest benefit. The husband also should worship Lord Vishnu, desiring highest benefit only. Tesham nitya abhyuktanam, that is the highest benefit. One want to become an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord and want to serve the Lord for the rest of eternity in the spiritual world. That is the Shreyas Kama. Should very devotedly worship her husband as a representative of Lord Vasudeva. Patim Atmanam Ishwaram. They consider Pati to be Ishvara, non-different from Ishvara. So like that. Soham Tvayarchito Badre.
Soham tayarchito bhadre
Idrug Bhavena Bhaktitaha.
idrubhavena bhaktita
Samte Sampadaye Kamam.
tam te sampadaye kamam
Asatinam Sudurlabham.
asatinam sudurlabham. My dear gentle wife, because you have worshipped me with great devotion, considering me a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I shall reward you by fulfilling your desires, which are unobtainable for an unchaste wife.
Yeah. O auspicious wife Badre, because you have worshipped me with great devotion, I shall reward you by fulfilling your desires, which are unobtainable by for an unchaste wife. So an unfaithful wife cannot get the reciprocation of her husband. A faithful wife who is called as Pativrata will obviously will get the reciprocation of her husband. So in that way. That's why he said, since you have served me very nicely, I will fulfill whatever desire you have, all the way up to offering liberation. Because Kashyapa is a great devotee. He can facilitate that. So, so in that way, he is not wrong in that. But that is the duty of husband. The husband actually should, the primemost duty of the husband is to facilitate going back home back to a godhead of the wife and the children born through her. That is the understanding of marriage. So since this marriage concept is slowly kind of drifted away, that understanding is not so prevalent. So at least as of now, today, we have this concept of taking shelter of Guru and practicing bhakti, and then going back home back to that God. That concept is prevalent. And according to the today concept, today's understanding, both male and female are initiated by Guru. So both can practice bhakti, helping each other, and both of them can go back to Godhead. So together. So in from that point of view, Kali Yuga, whatever is possible to that extent we should do. If something more can be practiced, we should be ready to practice. We should inspire others to practice. We should set a right example for others to practice. So like that. So it is like this. So thank you. And also I'm sorry we did not discuss so many verses. Today only this concept is there. The next verse onward, the mood will change. That we will discuss in the next class. So we'll stop here for today. Any last question? Time हो गया already बहुत late हो गए.
Hare
No
Krishna,
problem.
Prabhuji,
हाँ.
Prabhuji, from last class, there was just a minute, Prabhuji.
So in the meantime, other devotees have any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. Can we leave, Prabhuji?
Ah, okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Ah, Hare Krishna.
Hare
You're
Krishna.
back next week, Prabhuji?
Ah, no. Next weekend also I'm here only in home.
Okay.
So I'll be returning to Mumbai next Monday and 24th.
Okay.
The week after that we will have temple class.
Sure.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Prabhuji, in the 26th verse, no, of the this 17th chapter, the previous chapter which we discussed, there it is written that thereafter, in the presence of the great sage Narada, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who is most powerful, spoke to his wife Parvati while they all listened. So I didn't just understand that in that assembly why the demons also were present, because it was mentioned that Lord Shiva was going to give some discourse on the this thing, na, jnana. So why the demons were present?
Kailash is located next to Alakapuri. Alakapuri, the abode of Kuvera. And Kuvera is the lord of Yakshas and Rakshasas. That means Yakshas and Rakshasas also stay with Lord Kuvera. And Lord Shiva himself is the lord of Bhuta Preta Pishachas. He is the lord of Yakshas and Rakshasas. So some of them who was close followers of Lord Shiva can also sit in the assembly. Why not? So he is speaking some high subject matter, but others also can sit, na? So Lord Shiva cannot say that no, today I am speaking some high subject matter, you are not allowed, not like that. If somebody interested, they can also sit. They are sitting in the back rows. In the front rows, Narada Muni, Kumaras, Kuvera, and other devatas are sitting. In the back rows, all these personalities are sitting because Lord Shiva is also taking care of them. If their Lord also is also teaching them.
Okay, so like that. Okay. And Praveen, that one comment Shivji makes to Parvati, na, that you don't have that much devotion, that is why you cannot understand these Vaishnavas like that. So means it was just a joking comment, na, because how Parvati cannot have devotion to the Lord because
No,
she's
it is a talk between wife and husband. So in that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Praveen.
Just
So,
like
Praveen,
a devotee will never say oneself a devotee. A devotee, a real devotee will never say I am a devotee. Will see everyone else as a superior devotee to them. And here, a husband can tell about his wife because husband and wife are in one sense are non-different to each other. So husband says, I am not a devotee like him. So he also can also say that you are also not a devotee like him because husband and wife are the same mentality. So they don't mind. So in that.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking Parvati ji, she is doing so much service for the Lord, like being a Maya and taking all the care of material world, while still she's been blamed like you are not a devotee. Like, okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Correct.
So the next class will be also online, na, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Correct.
Hare Krishna.